Hey everybody, welcome to Top 10 Places, the only travel channel brave enough to fly on Spirit Airlines. Today, we're diving headfirst into the grand old US of A. Buckle up, because we're about to explore the top 10 places that'll give you a taste of real American culture. From the bright lights of Broadway to the swampy bayous of Louisiana, we're covering it all, folks. So grab your oversized foam finger, put on your most patriotic pair of Crocs, and get ready for a wild ride through the heart of American culture. First up, we're hitting the streets of New York City, the city that never sleeps. Probably because of all the sirens and cab horns. New York is a city that wears many hats, or should I say, Yankees caps. It's a financial hub, a fashion capital, and a melting pot of cultures from around the globe. You can find anything and everything here, from world-class art at the MoMA to a $10 pizza that'll change your life. Speaking of pizza, don't even think about folding it in half here, alright? That's a surefire way to get yourself labeled a tourist. History buff? Check out Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. Theater nerd? Catch a Broadway show and weep with joy. Foodie? Get ready for the culinary adventure of a lifetime. Just be prepared to remortgage your house for a decent bagel and lox. And listen, if you're feeling overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the city, just remember to take a deep breath, grab a hot dog from a street vendor, and embrace the chaos. Next stop, we're heading down south to the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. This city is like a giant party that never ends. Home of jazz, gumbo, and Mardi Gras, New Orleans knows how to have a good time. The French Quarter, with its wrought iron balconies and colorful buildings, will make you feel like you've stepped into another world. And the music? Oh man, the music. From the soulful sounds of jazz to the infectious rhythms of Zydeco, there's always a beat to move your feet to in New Orleans. Now let's talk about the food. Get ready for some serious flavor explosions with dishes like jambalaya, gumbo, and beignets. And don't be afraid to try something new like alligator sausage or crawfish etouffee. New Orleans is a city that celebrates life, history, and culture. Just be prepared to sweat. A lot. It's humid down there, folks. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading west to the Golden Gate City, San Francisco. This city is a beautiful blend of history, innovation, and stunning scenery. First things first, you gotta take a ride on a cable car. Sure, it's touristy, but it's also iconic. Plus, it's a great way to see the city's famous hills without breaking a sweat. And speaking of hills, be prepared to do some walking. San Francisco is a very walkable city, but those hills can be killer. Next up, head over to Fisherman's Wharf. Sure, it's a bit crowded and touristy, but it's also a great place to grab some fresh seafood and watch the sea lions bark. And if you're a history buff, you can take a ferry over to the infamous Island Prison and explore its eerie history. San Francisco is more than just tech and tourism. It's a city with a rich cultural tapestry, from its vibrant Chinatown to its colorful murals in the Mission District. Alright folks, we're heading to the Midwest, to the heart of America, to the one and only Chicago, Illinois. Forget what you've heard about it being all about deep dish pizza and Al Capone, although those are both pretty great. Yes, Chicago is called the Windy City for a reason, so be prepared to get your hair blown around a bit. Now let's talk about the pizza. Chicago-style deep dish pizza is a culinary masterpiece, a symphony of cheese, sauce, and toppings baked in a pan so deep it could double as a swimming pool. Just be prepared to loosen your belt a few notches and maybe take a nap afterward. But Chicago is more than just pizza, folks. It's a city with a rich history, stunning architecture, and a vibrant arts and culture scene. Take a stroll down the Magnificent Mile, a shopper's paradise with everything from high-end boutiques to department stores galore. And speaking of magnificent, you can't miss the architecture. From the iconic Willis Tower to the John Hancock Center, Chicago's skyline is truly a sight to behold. And if you're an art enthusiast, you're in luck. Chicago is home to world-class museums like the Art Institute of Chicago and the Field Museum. Okay folks, it's time to get our history on and head to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Now I know what you're thinking, D.C., isn't that just a bunch of politicians in suits arguing all the time? And yeah, there's definitely some of that going on. But D.C. is also a city steeped in history, culture, and some pretty awesome museums. First things first, you gotta hit up the National Mall. It's basically America's front yard, a giant park home to some of the country's most iconic monuments, like the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and the World War II Memorial. Just be prepared to do a lot of walking and maybe bring a selfie stick for those epic shots. And speaking of monuments, you can't miss the White House. It's the most famous house in America, and you might even catch a glimpse of the president walking his dog on the South Lawn. But DC is more than just monuments and government buildings. It's also a city with a thriving arts and culture scene. Check out a show at the Kennedy Center, home to the National Symphony Orchestra, the Washington National Opera, and the Suzanne Farrell Ballet. And speaking of culture, DC is a Smithsonian Museum lover's paradise. From the National Air and Space Museum to the National Museum of Natural History, there's something for everyone. Get ready to put on your sunglasses, folks, because we're heading to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Home to Hollywood, beaches, and traffic that could make a grown man cry, Louisiana is a city of dreams, sunshine, and maybe a few too many reality TV stars. First things first, you gotta check out the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Sure, it's crowded, touristy, and you might step in some questionable substances, but hey, it's iconic. Just try not to get run over by a tour bus while you're searching for your favorite celebrity star. And speaking of stars, you can't come to LA without experiencing the magic of Hollywood. Take a studio tour, see a movie premiere, or just drive around Beverly Hills and gawk at the mansions. But LA is more than just Hollywood glitz and glamour. It's a city with diverse neighborhoods, each with its own unique flavor. And let's not forget about the beaches. From Malibu to Venice Beach, Louisiana has some of the most beautiful coastline in the world. Get ready to turn up the heat, folks, because we're heading south to the Magic City, Miami, Florida. With its white sand beaches, Art Deco architecture, and vibrant Latin culture, Miami is a city that knows how to party. First things first, let's hit the beach. South Beach is the place to see and be seen with its turquoise waters, Art Deco lifeguard stands, and beautiful people strutting their stuff. Just be prepared for some sticker shock when you buy a bottle of water, but Miami is more than just beaches and nightlife. It's a city with a rich history and culture, especially its Cuban heritage. Head over to Little Havana, where you can sip on Cuban coffee, puff on a cigar, and soak up the vibrant atmosphere. And if you're an art lover, you're in luck. Miami is home to Art Basel, one of the world's biggest art fairs, as well as numerous galleries and museums. And let's not forget about the food. Miami is a melting pot of cultures, and its culinary scene reflects that. Howdy, partners. We're saddling up and heading to Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. Get ready for some toe-tapping tunes, finger-licking barbecue, and southern hospitality that'll make you feel right at home. First things first, you gotta experience the Grand Ole Opry. It's the most famous country music venue in the world, and seeing a show there is practically a religious experience for country music fans. And speaking of country music, Nashville is practically overflowing with it. You can catch a show at the Ryman Auditorium, known as the Mother Church of Country Music, or wander down Broadway where honky-tonks blast live music day and night. But Nashville is more than just country music, folks. It's a city with a growing culinary scene, from classic Southern comfort food to trendy farm-to-table restaurants. Ahoy there, mateys! We're setting sail to Beantown, Boston, Massachusetts. Get ready for a history lesson, some wicked good seafood, and accents so thick you might need subtitles. First things first, you gotta retrace the steps of the founding fathers on the Freedom Trail. This 2.5-mile-long walk takes you past 16 historical landmarks, including Paul Revere's house, Faneuil Hall, and the Old North Church. And speaking of history, Boston is practically overflowing with it. From the Boston Tea Party to the American Revolution, this city played a pivotal role in shaping the United States. But Boston is more than just a history book come to life, folks. It's a city with a vibrant arts and culture scene, world-class universities, and a passion for sports that's practically unmatched. And let's not forget about the food. Boston is famous for its clam chowder, lobster rolls, and baked beans. Viva Las Vegas! Get ready to roll the dice and let loose, folks, because we're heading to the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. With its dazzling lights, world-class shows, and casinos that seem to stretch on forever, Vegas is a city that never sleeps, and for good reason. First things first, you gotta hit the casino floor. Whether you're a seasoned gambler or just looking to try your luck, there's a slot machine or blackjack table with your name on it. And speaking of shows, Vegas is famous for them. From Cirque du Soleil to magic shows to concerts by the biggest names in music, there's something for everyone. But Vegas is more than just gambling and entertainment, folks. It's a city with surprisingly good food, from all-you-can-eat buffets to Michelin-starred restaurants. And for a break from the neon lights and constant buzz, head outside the city to Red Rock Canyon National Conservation Area. Well folks, there you have it. The top 10 places to experience the best of what US culture has to offer. From the bright lights of New York City to the sunny beaches of Miami, the United States is a tapestry of diverse experiences just waiting to be explored. If you enjoyed this whirlwind tour of America's most iconic destinations, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Top 10 Places for more incredible adventures around the globe. And hey, let us know in the comments what your favorite US city is and why. Until next time, happy travels, and remember, always pack a sense of adventure and an open mind. You never know what amazing discoveries await.